looking at the Iron Man figure from Iron Man 2, the comic series, figure number 30. And this particular armor first appeared in the late 80s, 89, and was the first armor after the Silver Centurion armor. And of course, since he's an Iron Man 2 figure, he comes with the little two card overlay gimmick stand, the repulsor blast, which I don't particularly like, but you can slip that over his hand, his fist hand, and have a simulated repulsor blast. His head goes side to side, doesn't have any up and down movement, and to fully use his arms you have to lift these flaps up. These do come out quite easily, so you got to be careful with them. But his arms will go all the way around if you don't knock out the, well, shoulder things here. And they'll go out and back in. They bend and rotate at the elbow, as well as rotate at the hand. He's got upper torso articulation, left and right, and a little bit up, forward and back. His legs, they go out and rotate at the hip, as well as rotate at the upper thigh. A nice double knee joint, and his ankles bend a little. They're very stiff, and they also rotate a little. Pretty standard for the Iron Man 2 figures. He's got some pretty good detailing. I like his little bit of a bad paint job on the mouth on mine, but I do like the blue eyes. They really stand out. Slightly different color yellow for his unibeam in his chest there. It does kind of detract from the figure. Also, you can see that the red doesn't continue on up into here, so that breaks up the paint scheme there. Otherwise, it's pretty good sculpt, or pretty good paint. This shoulder piece doesn't go in all the way, so that's got quite a gap, so that's kind of a little knock about it, but overall I think he's a pretty good figure. Not the best of the Iron Man 2 comic line, but still nice to have this armor. The Iron Man 2 comic series figure number 31, and it'll be the Titanium Man. So like all the Iron Man 2 figures, he comes with this stand and the overlay card display. He also comes with this flame effect here, which snaps right onto his fist there. For articulation, his head goes side to side, no forward and back movement. His arms go forward this far and back this far, of course hampered by the massive shoulder pads on the armor. His arm does go out to the side and can come back in. He rotates at the elbow as well as bends at the elbow and rotates at the wrist. He does have upper waist articulation, left and right, and slightly forward and back. He has great hip joints here, which swivel as well as allow the legs to move out and in. He also swivels at the upper thigh. Kind of difficult to do one or the other. He's got a double knee joint, and his ankles bend as well as rotate. And this one in particular seems very loose, while this is a little bit tighter. He's got this very nice green color scheme. Of course, I am kind of partial to green, as it is my favorite color, but it's a very nice metallic kind of green. And his yellow and orange visor and repulsor weapon here really pop with the green. He's a pretty cool figure, and the flame effect here really works. I don't know if it's not exactly to his powers per se, but it does look nice. And so anyway, that'll be it for him. The third and final figure that I have is the Guardsman. And again, the Guardsman comes with the base and card display. And he has the exact same blast effect thing that the Iron Man figure did, or many of the figures have this. And you can put it over his wrist. I don't really like it, so that goes into a junk drawer somewhere. Again, this guy has a pretty cool color scheme, but again, I'm biased because he's 2 shades of green. He's a nice dark, very dark green, almost black, and a very shiny metallic green. He's got some very nice paint details with the eyes and the mask, painted very well. Now, there's a lot about this figure that I don't like. He's very loose, and the legs, all the joints are very loose on him, and all his swivel points really break up his sculpt in his hands and his ankles, or his not his ankles, but his shins. He does have very nice hip joints, like the Titanium Man had, that allow a lot of articulation, much more so than some of the other. It is really hard to get the inside of the ball to rotate. They just seem to want to have the thighs rotate instead of the whole ball joint in there. But you can manage it if you're patient enough. Unfortunately, he is, like I said, all his joints are loose except for the shoulders, which are very, very tight. His head goes left and right. Arms go out and in and around. He swivels at the forearms. He's got upper waist articulation left and right. No forward and, well, slight forward and back. The hip joints rotate here as well as at the thigh, and his legs go forward and back. And he has a double knee joint, rotates at the calf, and his ankles just bend. There is no rotation. This is meant to be a specific character, because initially there was only one Guardsman suit, and that was used by Kevin O'Brien. And if you read the backing on here, that gives a little bit of the story of the Guardsman, Kevin O'Brien. Well, his brother, Michael O'Brien, used another version of the suit. After Stark International was taken over by Stain, Stain took the suit the Guardsman suit, the second Guardsman suit, and replicated it for use as a replacement to the aging Mandroid armor that Stark had provided for S.H.I.E.L.D. And eventually they became the guards at the superhuman prison called the Vault. The Stain armor was still based on the Tony Stark suit, but of a much less quality armor. So you can, if you want to, have sort of army build with this guy, and say that they're the Guardsman, the Vault version of the suit. That'll be it for now, and until my next review, see ya.